Okay, everybody, in today's game session, you're all going to die!
Wait, what? Why?
Because our stupid rogue suggested it to the dungeon master, that's why.
Wait, is no one going to mention the dead body at the table?
What dead body?
Holy crap! What an idiot!
The dead body next to you, you dunce.
Oh yeah, that one. Well, you know, he's been there since the last time we filmed our super awesome skits.
Well, who's gonna clean him up?
I believe that responsibility should fall to our dungeon master, since he's the one who killed him in the last game session.
I'm sorry, but I have a work restriction from my doctor that HR signed off on. It precludes me from touching rotting corpses.
Well, I propose we create a house rule then. And it goes something like this. You kill it, you clean it up.
I second that.
Me too.
Indeed, that sounds like a wonderful house rule for us to adopt.
So, if I were to TPK you all, I need to touch 5 rotting corpses?
Yep, that's right.
Well, this is stupid. Not only will there not be a TPK today, but I'm just going to use my infinite Dungeon Master powers to take care of this corpse.
Oh, hello everybody! It's so good to be alive and playing D&D again. Why?
Welcome to the DM Lair. I'm Lucar, and I've been a Dungeon Master since high school. On this channel, I give practical Dungeon Master advice that you can use in your Dungeons & Dragons games. Today in the Lair, we'll be discussing 10 house rule pitfalls that Dungeon Masters can easily find themselves falling into, and if you avoid these pitfalls, chances are your games will be greatly improved. Now, if you find yourselves doing any of these things, don't sweat it on me here. Just don't go off and cry in a corner or something. No one is perfect. Everyone has room for improvement. Also, sometimes we Dungeon Masters are doing things that aren't exactly good and we just don't know it until someone tells us. The key here is to always learn from our mistakes and always be improving. By the way, would you like to reduce your prep time and improve the quality of your D&D games? If so, I suggest you check out Lair magazine. Lair magazine is a monthly RPG publication that all my patrons get. It's full of Dungeon Master resources such as puzzles, traps, and new magic items. And every single issue contains 2 5th edition compatible D&D adventures. For instance, the June issue, which comes out this Thursday, contains the Temple of the Rotting God, a level 10 adventure, and the Bunker of Shasha, a level 6 adventure. And each adventure comes with image files for the maps, allowing you to easily import them into Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, or your virtual tabletop of choice. That's right, you don't have to pay extra for the maps. Also, for this month, my patrons and folks who become patrons in June will get extra D&D content. At $5 and above, you will get an extra 5th edition adventure, and at $15 and above, you will get a map pack with several maps designed for use on virtual tabletops. So click that beautiful link to my Patreon page down below where you can learn more and even see a sample issue of Lair magazine. And now, without further ado, the top 10 house rule pitfalls DMs should avoid. Number 1, too many house rules. Come on. Really? Do you really need 100 pages of house rules? I mean, at what point is it an entirely new game that you're pitching to your players? Do you really expect your players to read and know all of the super special house rules in that massive binder you just slammed down on the table? I can barely get players to remember how their spells work. These are spells that are literally in the player handbook core material. I'm certainly not prepared to force down upon them reams of house rules on top of what they currently need to do. My suggestion here is to create only the house rules you absolutely need. The ones that really improve the game for everyone at the table. Otherwise, just try to stick to the core rules. Sticking to the core rules makes the game more predictable and easier to navigate for everyone involved. It also reduces the amount of rules bog, that is, how much the game can slow down when there are an excess of complicated rules. Number 2, the cost outweighs the benefit. Whenever I want to introduce a new house rule, I consider one very important question. Do the additional rules provide benefits that are worth the cost? Costs of additional rules include the slower game because of the extra rules you have to navigate through, and the players needing to learn and remember them. Also, not all house rules will be a hit with all players. Some might not like them at all. That is also a cost to consider. The fact that you introduce a house rule and your players might think, hey, this sucks. Why? Why would you do this to us? Like the time a dungeon master told us we needed to track inventory. Yeah, that was not a good day. So always ask yourself, do you really need it? Does the house rule actually make the game better? That is more fun for folks involved in the game, your players and you. And if you find the rule is bogging the game down and no one seems to be enjoying it, that's a pretty good sign it should probably go. And if you, as the Dungeon Master, find yourself conveniently forgetting to enforce the house rule, that's another good sign that the cost probably doesn't outweigh the benefit. Number 3, the rules don't increase folks' fun. Many times Dungeon Masters make house rules not because the players request them, but because the DM has reasons. And usually that reason has to do with because of the lack of realism or something that bothers them about the game. Heavy armor. Should you be able to swim in heavy armor? Probably not. So of course, there you go. You get some special house rules where you can't swim in heavy armor. And that's not to say that those reasons aren't good reasons, because they very well might be. Just remember that in any game, there is a balance between realism and fun. And one doesn't have to preclude the other, but they often can. Imagine a game of Monopoly that involves in-depth rules of buying and running companies. Few people would probably enjoy a game like that. It's just too complicated and it's not a whole lot of fun. And in games like D&D, the more realism you want, the more in-depth rules you'll need. Rules like that usually slow the game down and don't necessarily make the game more fun for anyone, except for the guy who's just like, it's gotta be perfect, it's gotta be realistic, and he wants to make this binder of house rules so that his game is so totally realistic and perfect. It is an accurate representation of the real world. It is a simulation. It is awesome. It is beautiful. It is wonderful. And nobody has fun because it's just crazy. It's too many rules, dude. Nobody cares. So, strive for a balance. Just because a rule in the game isn't realistic is not a reason to change it. This is a game, not a true-to-life simulator. DMs need to consider if the house rules are making the game more fun for them or their players, and ideally both. If they aren't, then get rid of the stupid house rules. Number 4, new dungeon masters making house rules. I get it. You're just starting to be a dungeon master. You're just learning the game, and you don't really understand how or why the game mechanics work the way you do and all that kind of good stuff. So my question for you is, if you don't understand it, if you're just getting going, then why are you already trying to change them? Example, let's just pretend that I just learned how to shoot a semi-automatic pistol, and let's say that it's a 1911, a tried and true piece of machinery used in a couple world wars that was very dependable. Lots of people love this thing, and I just started learning how to use it, and I don't really know how everything in it works, let alone what everything inside of it does. However, I feel the need to pull out my blueprint paper and start redesigning it. Yeah, because I'm gonna be able to do anything besides screw it up. So my suggestion, play the game for a little bit before you start redesigning it. Learn how and why it works the way it does before you pull out your wrench. Is 5th edition D&D perfect? Heck no. Is the CR system and encounter balancing mechanics all borked to crap? Of course they are. But if I don't understand the how and the why, I'm probably only going to make things worse. Unless I get lucky, of course, or my players are new like me and don't know any better. Number 5. Not getting player buy-in on house rules. Don't just plop your butt down at the game table and announce to your players what the new rules are going to be. Players are part of the game too, and their thoughts and opinions should be listened to and valued before making changes. So instead, explain to your players your desire to make some house rules, explain why you want to make the changes, and what the changes would be. Then see what your players think about them. Listen to their input and maybe even make adjustments to the house rules based on their input. At the end of the day, you ideally want all of your players to be okay with the new house rules. This will make them feel better about the changes and hopefully help ensure the new house rules improve the game experience for them. You're the authority! You're the authority! You're the DM! You can make the changes to the house rules if you want to. You can lay down the law. You can tell your players the way it's gonna be, and if they don't like it, they can walk. But that's not a good approach. You should always strive to get player buy-in first. It will go a long way to improving your game and helping make the house rules successful.
You gotta respect my authority!
Number 6, not getting feedback on your house rules and updating as needed. Don't just set and forget house rules. It's a house rule you dreamed up. You theorized it. It still needs playtesting and tweaking to ensure it accomplishes the purpose for which it was designed. Now, it just so happens you're playtesting it in your group, and your players are your playtesters. So after a while of using a new house rule, get your players' feedback on how it is going. Ask what works, what doesn't work, and how it could be improved, and then make tweaks as needed to improve the rule for everyone. Then you continue playtesting and tweaking as needed. I've introduced many house rules over the years. Some we use for one session, decide we don't like, and we throw it out. Others we use for a year or longer, and then decide we don't like it and we get rid of it. Others are real winners, and we all love them and we keep them around. You just don't know which way it'll go when you introduce a house rule, so be willing to update as needed or even throw it out and go back to rules as written when a house rule clearly isn't improving the game for everyone or for anyone. Doesn't have to improve the game for everyone. We're not special snowflakes around here, but there should be a net increase in fun from a house rule. Some people are special snowflakes. Yeah. Number 7, not communicating your house rules to the players. You know, you should probably let players know in advance of a house rule becoming applicable, ideally before or just after they join the game. Don't tell them about your super special house rule where 0 hit points equals immediate death right when a PC drops to 0 hit points. That is probably not the time to bring that up. If you have house rules, your players should know about them. And ideally, they should be written out and made available to the players so they can read about them as needed. Sure, print off a binder if you need to, or better yet, post them on the Discord channel that you use for your game. Yeah, it takes some upfront effort to write them up and make sure they're clearly explained, but it's an investment that will pay off in the long run. Number 8. Allowing homebrew content without reviewing and balancing it. Especially, I might add, when a player has created the homebrew, it needs extensive review and rebalancing before being allowed into your game. I mean, come on. Players simply put often create things that are super crazy overpowered. Even beats the stuff that you can find in Tasha's these days. And another potential issue here too is that when you have a player who is homebrewing something, sometimes they can become way too attached to their creation, and they're not open to discussions about potential nerfs or even buffs. I have said it before, and I will say it again until the day I throw D&D away and start playing, I don't know, Call of Cthulhu or something, whatever. Most homebrew I find on the internet is either incredibly broken, overpowered, or both. Might be the same thing. So, dungeon masters need to review them before allowing them in their games. Right about now, someone is furiously typing down in the comments, "Luke, you're a big meanie. You won't let your players use homebrew. You're stifling creativity. You're ruining the game. You suck." I beg to differ. In fact, lest you forget, I publish a monthly D&D magazine that is full of homebrew content for DMs and their players to use. Not stifling creativity, I'm trying to help you embrace creativity and see a broader spectrum of possibilities. The difference is that my lead developer, Ed Robinson, what up Ed, reviews everything for game balance concerns, like everything. And I, of course, review everything too. And Danny, my director of operations, reviews everything too. So there we are at least 3 eyes on hopefully everything we publish to ensure nothing crazy or OP slips into Lair magazine. Not saying it won't. You might find something in there. Don't come hunt me down and take me to task, all right? It will probably happen, but we do our absolute best to make sure that the content that is in there is balanced, not like Tasha's. Just couldn't help myself. So I am certainly an advocate for using homebrew content in your games. I'm also just an advocate for not being a complete moron when you do so. Sorry, did I just offend people? I have a problem with that. Number 9, creating house rules on the fly during the game. First, there is a big difference between creating a temporary ruling because of a gray area and creating a house rule that applies forevermore. For instance, during combat, making a ruling on does your sword that you rubbed a silver coin all over hurt the werewolf for an attack or two is a whole lot different than saying henceforth, magic items do not work on lycanthropes, only silvered weapons do. Gray area rulings in the heat of things is what DMs must do. It's part of your job description. It's literally one of the big reasons you're there. You are the adjudicator of rules. But making a house rule that screws players over at the worst possible moment, yeah, that is not cool. House rules should be thought out in advance, evaluated for balance, and then proposed to players, explaining your reasons and how it worked. This happens too when a DM creates a house rule on the spot to prevent players from solving a problem in a way the DM didn't anticipate. This isn't house ruling, fellow Dungeon Masters, it's being a weighing rod to your players. Number 10, creating biased house rules. Dungeon Masters who create house rules that benefit certain players, such as husbands or wives or children, but punish others. For instance, the stinky guy at the table. Yeah, we all got one of those, don't we? I should probably not share this story, but we were in line at a gaming convention once, my wife, my daughter, and I, and my wife and daughter had to go stand off to the side because we couldn't stand in line. Well, they couldn't stand in line because of certain odors that were present. So yeah, we all know that. Anyway, point is here, don't create biased house rules against certain people, even if they're the stinky ones. Still not cool. Although I would argue that taking a bath is a good idea. House rules should be as fair as possible to all players. Don't show favoritism, even if you have good cause. Don't forget to get monthly D&D 5th edition adventures to use in your own games. Sign up for Lair magazine at my Patreon page linked below. And remember, folks who become patrons in June, and current patrons of course, get bonus adventures and map packs. Besides getting Lair magazine, my patrons also get to vote on the videos I make, have monthly group video hangouts with me, and get access to an exclusive Discord channel. It's very exclusive. If you've ever committed any of these house rule pitfalls, give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you refuse to admit it was a mistake, and leave a comment for the algorithm down below. Let YouTube know that I don't completely suck. And until next time,
Let's play D&D!